Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, the Average Dude Podcast. Remember to always stay positive and choose to shine. And while you're shining, please don't forget to subscribe, like to support this video. Today I got a queen in the house, KC. You guys go to our channel and subscribe also. This is a combined video. We are both YouTubers, so you know what's up, you know what to do. No waste of time, no dulling. You know what it is. So KC, welcome.
Thank you.
I have to bring like a queen to this table to talk about this.
Stop flattering me.
To talk about this very sensitive topic. So before we go into the topic, let's start like with the quote of the day. Like the quote of the day is from a very strong Nigerian woman, a feminist. First of all, are you a feminist?
Well, I think everyone should be a feminist.
Are you sure? You stuttered a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very sure. I'm very positive. I think everyone should be a feminist because feminism is, I think feminism is just seeing any human being, okay, in this case for a female, seeing a female as a human being and not anything less than that. Okay, there are different narratives, there are different school of thought when it comes to feminism, and a lot of people get it wrong. So for those that have the wrong narrative out there, it shouldn't still be a reason why the main movement for what feminism should be like put on the sideline or anything. Just like in the same case of the Black Lives Matter, okay, that people are looting and doing other stuff doesn't mean or doesn't take away the fact that Black lives actually matter. Yeah. So
what do you think about because there are a lot of women that are against feminism or feminists? Okay, no, maybe not against feminism. Okay. Against feminists.
Feminist. Right. Yeah, if you're against feminists, then it means you're also against feminism.
I don't. That's a confusion about the whole thing. Like to a lot of people,
a feminist is someone that that carries out or portrays or is fighting for the cause of feminism. So
no, feminism sounds more like a romantic something, like if you say something like it's so feminine, that's the way it sounds. But I don't know. But feminist, as you said, like a man can also be a feminist. Me, I'm a feminist. I think I've said that a long time in this podcast, and because I'm the only guy in my household, and I've been like that since I was little.
I didn't know that.
I've been like that since I was little, so definitely I always fight for women, but you have to understand. I
also know people too that like males or I have male friends too that also have that idea of the true idea of what feminism is, and they also stand for it too. So I feel like the reason why a lot of males and even females are against it is because of people that either take it to the extreme or don't even know what feminism is.
Yeah, maybe what I feel is a lot of them don't understand is the education, because their point of view is always about you want to be a man. That's what they always say. Feminist, you want to be a man. Yeah? No. Oh yeah, go and beat somebody, beat you now, go and beat him up. That's like Nigerian, a lot of Nigerian girls.
That's just the market square. I don't know how else to put it, but that is just so whack.
No, it's very perfect. That's the perfect between the market square. Okay, so let's go into the quote of this amazing feminist that has been causing trouble, not just in Nigeria. She has a lot of enemies in America too. So she said,
I thought they would love her there.
They have a lot of conservative, or what do you call it? Conservative people, those Republican. They have a lot of like their ideas against feminism, against abortion, against like woman rights. Let's just put it like that. Mm-hmm. So they are against a lot of things. Like they are into all these orthodox. So they don't like her, but I think the democratic part, mm-hmm. they like her. She once had a problem with Hillary Clinton.
Anyways, not that I may not agree with every single thing she agrees with, but
sometimes.
Sometimes
she goes a little bit extreme.
Yeah,
You know?
I know I don't agree with every single thing that she says, but I know in general I understand, the point of view where she's coming from when it comes to feminism. So.
Okay, so in this quote, one of our quotes, she said, "Culture does not make people; people make culture. If it is true that the full humanity of women is not our culture, then we can and must make it our culture." You understand what she's saying?
Yeah.
Like, let me start. Okay, ladies first. Let me hear you.
All right. Let me look at this quote again. It says, "Culture does not make people; people make the culture." That's simple. Culture is just a way of life of a people, and if you decide to change the way you do something, you're actually changing that in particular. So it's what the people do that makes something become a culture.
Yeah.
Pop culture, it's a way a certain kind of people decided to start acting or behaving or speaking slangs, and it became the culture. And that is what culture is. Culture is the people that make that culture, and it's them that can decide to break it and change it into what it should be. How things were 100 years ago, they were that way because of the situation they found themselves in and the means that they had available to them and the level of knowledge and understanding that they had at that time. And you can't really bring in every single thing. A lot of things that were happening, a lot of things that we see as culture that are happening now, that people are actually kind of gradually dropping because it doesn't really fit into the modern day and everything. But they try to modify it, but then not completely eradicate it. But things that actually need to be eradicated actually should go, especially when it has to trample upon someone else's right, or when it has to affect someone else's life directly. I think that should be abolished and should be done away with.
What I just like about this quote, like the way I see it, like coded, I think is speaking to men. That even though you don't accept the woman to be equal, like back in the days, you can change it, make it a culture. It can start from you.
Exactly.
Like, the way they always say, like, teach your son to respect ladies, women, girls from when he's a baby. And you can make it a culture.
Exactly.
Like they are doing the Black Lives Matter, like teach your child not to be racist. Nobody is born a racist and all that.
Exactly. So. Yeah, that's what when you were talking about this stuff, it just reminded me of a YouTube video I was watching. I don't know if you know Nello Keke. She's a YouTuber.
Okay, yeah, I think I've seen it.
Yeah, she's a YouTuber. That was a video she did with her mother-in-law, and she was asking the mother-in-law, how things are now, how the family is run now, and how it was before. And we'll see that the way they portrayed women to be were more like property. Having a family, even wives and children, were more like owning a property. So you have like 3 wives or 5 wives that will give birth to battalions of children that end up they'll end up being your workforce, you get, and then they would sit down as the chief of the clan that would stay and oversee
everything.
And then even the women are the ones going to the farm too. And then the man that God has given that super strength to actually work is the one sitting at home, and they do all that work and they come back, and but now that things have changed, even one person cannot even do those things alone. You need support. That's how the culture started changing. And the women started seeing themselves as more than just being slaves to a man or to their husband. So like she said, the culture just has to change, and it's people that have to make that decision to see these things as normal and accept that the old way of doing things wasn't right, and try to move forward with that.
So if you are going to link it to our topic of the day, which is rape crisis in Nigeria, definitely, like there are still some people that have this old mentality of thinking, like you said, that maybe they still see women as property, or they still see women as they still see them as something that you can buy. Is it this having this kind of view that can, is it an excuse? Don't know, say excuse. Is it something that can make some people to be aggressive towards women, which could also lead to like rape? Is it a part of mentality that could?
When in the issue of rape, I don't know if we should bring it down to Nigeria or in general in Africa. Let's say Africa. I just feel like the problem with the rape culture and people normalizing rape in Africa or Nigeria is, one, the culture, which we just talked about, two, religion. And you want to relate it to culture, I think is this same sense where men are always glorified, whether they do right or they do wrong. They always see it as, is the woman's job to submit, is the woman's job to solve the issue, is the woman's job to try to make things right. Like even now, you want to get married, someone is telling, they'll tell you, you need to be prayerful so you can be praying for your husband. You need to do this, you need to do that, and they teach you all these things, and then you look at the males.
They are not telling them.
How many things are they telling them?
They're telling them you need to make money.
In fact, not even make money. They'll even be telling you, watch what this watch.
Is doing,
if she's not doing, like, everything boils down to the woman trying to prove herself, and makes the man feel like in whatever situation he's superior. So is that, and even women are the ones that even making these things worse. You go to the comment section when things happen, it'd be like you will not keep quiet and do what your husband says. You will not keep quiet and just give him what he wants. You will not do this thing. Is it until he brings another woman to the house to come and take your place? I'm like, what the hell is take your place? I don't get it. So you should be the one that should always be trampled on every single time, and the man shouldn't be cautioned when he does something wrong. So is that sense of entitlement, that's the word, that sense of entitlement in a man that makes them feel like they can actually get away with anything. There are a lot of reasons why rape happens and why it's still on the rise. So this is just one of it.
One of them, yeah.
Culture is just one of it.
And as Nigerians, or let's say Africans, we are very rich in culture. So
rich in what type of culture? The kind of culture that is going to take us forward, or the one that is taking us backward?
The thing is, if you check African, I don't know, like in a lot of African history, I don't know where all these things change. Some people, like some of my friends that are Pan-African, or how would I put that, their head has spin because of racism. They will tell you that it's white people that brought all this aggressiveness to Africa. And if you, some way, I won't say they are 100% right, but I believe them kind of. Like if you check it, like in Africa, like if you are checking all our old stuff, you always hear stories of strong women, like women that fought war to, how would I put it, to help the community. Even there's a is it Queen Mina or something here in the north? Like she was one of the strongest African, even in the history of the world, that fought. In Yoruba side now, you have the how do I call it? Is it Oshun or Oya, the wife of Shango? Like people call Amadia. Like there's always, and that's not even the first time. I think the same thing in Oshun, maybe it's River Oshun or something. Most of all these women, they have things in common, like they always fight for their people. So I don't know if is the African culture just suddenly changed, because whether you like it or not, even like in the palace, the mother of the queen of the king is the strongest. The king is the king, but it's always as if they are just fronting the king. The mother of the king is always the one in his ears and always pulling strings. You get, even though they have like, so I don't know where all this the way we can say is white people's brainwashing culture. I don't know, that we always tend to go back and say is our culture 100%. I don't know where this where this disrespecting of women in African culture, I don't know where it started from. You get, I don't know if it's really our culture or something happened along the way. You get, but definitely with what is happening, a lot has happened along the way. Like this it's very crazy. And will you say that it's education that is causing it? Because there might be it's not about there are a lot of literates that are raping. Yeah. Is it that these people now, they still have the culture or the fake culture, we put it, and with their education, or they are not educated about women, or
education? Let us compare. Let us compare. Right now, like the average person is in quotes went to school. Went to school, although some people, the school didn't pass through them, they just passed through the school, and that was it. I don't think is it because, have you seen, again, let me go back to social media. Like social media is just opening up a can of worms. Like it's letting you see, I don't know if I have a screenshot. I had to screenshot one very long conversation I was having with someone on Facebook concerning this rape issue. If I can just find it, because it's really it's really scary when you see people that you know that are educated, that went to school, and you know they've taught you different. If you've not learned anything, at least you know that everyone has their own rights, and you know you should respect one another. You should learn to have self-control. There are things that you shouldn't do, like in the society, that is wrong. And no, people keep blaming the way sexuality is being portrayed everywhere, on TV, on social media, and everything.
As you said about this sexuality, I just want to add something. Don't forget what you want to say.
Okay.
Like people always use that as an excuse. Before white people came to Africa, how were the women dressing? How were the men dressing?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So that's what I was saying about that culture.
They were tying wrapper. They were just barely tying a cloth around their chest and wearing they weren't even, I don't even know.
So that's what I was saying. I don't know where this culture came to, African culture.
You see,
they are disrespecting women. Like I don't know where that is
it's
from.
crazy. And then people are talking about dressing. I'm not like, okay, all these other Arabian countries and all these places where they are fully dressed, and some of them is just their eyes you can see. Please, what else is left for them to veil themselves and walk blindly on the road until you know? Okay, let's leave the dressing. What happens to a 6-month-old child that is being raped by their own father? They
will say that one is a mental problem.
Okay, that one is a mental, and so the other people don't have mental problems.
Funny enough, it's always, how would I say, will I say scary or surprising when you see someone that you actually know. I was having this argument just 2 days ago with a guy I know that was saying this dress stuff and all that. Then I said it is mental problem, that everybody, that he was trying to give an excuse, and another girl too was supporting him on the mental problem issue. That I said every rapist, if you ever rape somebody, you have mental problem. They were like, no, some normal people rape. I was like, how will you be normal and rape someone?
Okay,
like,
so
I don't.
So are they justifying the normal people that are raping, or they are saying
because I said all of them are mad?
Okay.
Like, all rapists are mad. Like if you ever rape someone. The other guy was saying that that some of these girls, how they are behaving.
That is what is triggering them.
Yeah, that's what's triggering them.
Let me tell you, an abnormal person, even the sound of an animal behind will trigger them. Like there is nothing there, even if there is no human being in the room. Okay, what would you say about these people? Again, back to these people that all these kind of countries where they even restrict the kind of their dressing, and the kind of things you see on TV are not really things that are that provoking. But yet they still rape. There's really no excuse. There's really no excuse for that. There's really no excuse. I don't know how else people should understand this. They shouldn't keep this. These things play a role, right? These things play a role. But then that is not the ultimate, because we have seen that even in the cases where people are dressed properly, it still happens. So that should even tell you and ring a bell and let you know that this is not even the main issue. The human being themselves is the issue. It's possible that these people might have gone through some kind of psychological issues when they were young, and then they grew up to be who they were, and now it made them to be in a position where they are doing horrible things to people, right? Fine, but then they need to be brought, at least if there is a means where you can catch these people and put them in a place where they won't go ahead to do this to other people. Because definitely there are different factors that cause people to rape. Maybe because you have been traumatized in your childhood, and then it's kind of you were not able to grow out of that. You were not able, like, it affected you, and then it made you who you are, and then you're acting this certain way. You get. But this is a point where this person needs help.
Yeah.
Right? But you cannot come and blame this thing on women again.
Yeah. It's like whenever I'm talking about it, I always link it with racism. Like that same day, 2 days ago, when we were arguing, I kind of linked it to racism. Like it's like blaming the black people for racism. Like you are blaming the people that are oppressed, the people that are getting raped. Although that same guy was like, but some men are getting raped. I said, how many?
No, like it's not laughing. It's not laughing man about it.
It's funny now. How will you say men are getting raped? Like how many? We are the same way. Like people are saying Black Lives Matter. Some idiots come out and say all lives matter. There's no difference in what you just said. Like but some men are getting raped. You get?
You are talking about rape in general. So it even includes both male and female, but what is most rampant at this moment, and what the main thing that we're even trying to address when talking about rape is to educate people, to make them understand what rape actually is. It is not just about penetrating through a woman or a man or anybody. It's about the after effect. That's what people actually look down on, and they don't understand how this thing affect them. And people go ahead to now tell you that they actually enjoy it. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You even have a bigger problem than the rapists themselves.
Now, the problem I have about the current how will I put it? The current way people just talk about them raping someone, or how they talk about rape like it's nothing. Like I think, like, is it like the fear factor has gone? That's what I'm saying. Like this current culture of disrespecting women, I don't know where it came in African culture. Because I can remember that maybe when I was growing up, the only thing what I know about rape is that men are always scared of either being accused of a girl telling them that they raped them. Talk less of even doing the rape themselves. Fine, there is the one that was rampant quite when I was growing up, is that we always hear of, is all this pedophile, one man and a little girl. You know, those one is very high criminal and all this kind of thing. But like between young guys, like the way it's rampant now, like if you go on Twitter and people are, they are not even ashamed of saying
I saw.
like,
the reason why they're not ashamed is because